Was I wrong about Demon Slayer? Anime podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Shinri. Here at the Everything Podcast, we talk about everything from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and a relevant topic we feel like talking about. Today's video is specifically on Demon Slayer. I'm reviewing the manga, not the anime. So before I get into the review and talking about everything I liked about it and basically what happened, I want to preference what I know and how it's kind of different. So when I review One Piece, Black Clover, My Hero Academia, it's because it's a new chapter. It's just happening. So I give you the highlights. I give you basically what happens, and I tell you my thoughts on it. Things like Dr. Stone, which is old. I've never read it before. I don't know if most people have read it before. So I give you an in-depth review of that. But with Demon Slayer, I know that a lot of people already know what it is. I know that it's finished in the manga, and I know a lot of people have finished it. They know what happens. I personally don't know what happens, because I'm caught up as far as Netflix, which I think they call it season 3. I'm not sure. I know Crunchyroll and subbed is probably way further. However, I've decided to stop watching past Netflix and just specifically review the manga in unison with Dr. Stone. So 1 week it'll be Dr. Stone, and another week it might be Demon Slayer. I'll do the videos not back to back, but trying to space them out slowly, because I got a lot of ideas. So yeah, I know enough. I don't know a lot, but I know enough. And the thing is, it's at least specifically with season 1 up to Mugen Train, I wasn't really paying attention. I was watching it because at the time I didn't even like Demon Slayer. I liked Black Clover more. I've gushed about Austin, stuff like that. But anyways, at the time when Mugen Train came out, it was playing at a theater that was directly across the street from me. I had a whole day off. The movie was playing every day. So I was like, I got nothing else to do. I might go see this movie just to go. But I was at least I can understand some of it. So there was times it was playing in the background, and I'm doing other stuff, but I'll look over and I'm oh, that was cool. And I remember the spider dude. I remember some dodgeball lady. I remember some arrow dude, and then the sister being half demon. And then I liked the pig dude, and I thought the lightning dude was kind of funny. And then I went and saw the movie. And I never reviewed the movie, but I'll probably give my thoughts on that when I get to the Mugen Train chapter. But I did like it. I liked the first half of it. I didn't like the second half. And the reason why I call it the first and second half is because the first half was when they were fighting the train demon and they defeat it. And I thought, okay, this is a perfect way to end the movie. But then the second half, when the sixth demon martial artist came out and the fire dude and him were fighting, I felt like that went on way too long, especially his death scene. I know that that's a major character, and he's a fan favorite to most, but I was the way that you died and the way it's getting dragged out was just kind of long. I would have cut it. I felt like it was going on for 10 minutes. I would have cut it down to 3 minutes. Make it more impactful. You still get that same impact, but I just felt like he was dying for a very long time, in my opinion. But that's anime. And the other thing I know is like I said, I'm caught up on season 3, so I kept watching past that. I think I still kind of zoned out for most of it, but I did like Tengen, the sound dude. I thought he was cool. I love that he has 3 wives, because I thought if I ever cosplay him, I'm gonna have 3 guys. I'm gonna call them my husbands. I thought it was a funny little joke, funny little twist. Anyways, we're gonna get into the review. It's all gonna be done from the beginning, but before that, I've got a special little shout out I'm gonna do, and we're gonna get into that right now. Hey guys, this is the sponsor part of the video. I know it's coming a little bit earlier, but it's because it's a special video portion of the video. Today, we have a new book release. It is book 6 and 7 of the Shinri series, part 1 and part 2 of Shobu vs. Shinri 3, Arado, the Legendary Kujui Master. If you guys have been following the Shinri series, it starts with Shobu Samurai, then Shobu vs. Shinri, the Sword of Light, Shobu vs. Shinri 2, into the Dread Zone Tournament, Shinri's Beginning, and then finally this. This was the original ending of the Shinri series, and I'm so excited that this book is out. I don't want to spoil too much of it, especially if you guys aren't caught up, but definitely listen to the link tree at the end or listen to the end portion of the video for that final sponsor. It has a link to all the current published books, but yes, I'm very excited. I just wanted to make sure I give a special shout out to this new published book, and I hope you guys give it a check out. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and start reviewing the Demon Slayer manga. Again, this is my first read through of the manga. I've only seen the show up until season 3 on Netflix, when they introduced Tengen and his 3 wives. And like I said, because I'm reviewing Dr. Stone, I'm reading it for the first time, I figured I'll give Demon Slayer a shot. And especially because I'll finish it faster reading the manga. So I'll give you my thoughts as well as what I read and how I felt about it as I go. So the openings, and these will be the first 10 chapters, just like Dr. Stone will do, either arcs or every time I get to 10 chapters, I'll see how I do. Because Demon Slayer kind of goes through arcs pretty fast from what I can see. So I'll either find stopping points or just major events where I feel like I'll stop. But anyways, the opening is interesting off the bat because you can tell something bad has happened, and it intrigues you because it's a mystery is always a great opening for any kind of story. And so that got me okay, as a reader, this is my first time reading it, I was like, okay, what happened? And then we get introduced to the family dynamic. I thought it was really cute. And one of the quotes that he says I thought was interesting later is, happiness ends when the smell of blood begins. I know because he has this whole thing about smelling things, so I thought that was interesting, but it was just never heard it quoted like that. And then, as he goes into town, you can tell he's clearly loved by his community. The people interact with him. They're happy to see him. And at one point, one of the villagers makes it known that demons exist. And Tanjiro's kind of not hesitant, but you can tell he doesn't fully believe that demons exist. And I think that's most of humans. Most of the humans in this world don't know that demons exist. Demon Slayers obviously exist, and they know. And then people that encounter demons know. But I thought it was a fun thing where some humans know, some humans don't. Whereas in other anime, everybody in Naruto knows ninjas exist, but there are also humans and samurais. And then in One Piece, there's pirates and marines. Most people believe that pirates are evil, but some have seen good pirates like the Straw Hats. So I thought that was pretty cool. But it's a random stranger's kindness that keeps him from his family's cruel fate, because that night, a demon goes in and slaughters his whole family. And so I thought maybe this might give Tanjiro survivor's guilt, because you survived a tragic accident, so you didn't get you weren't a part of that. And it's even worse because it's a gruesome scene that no child should ever come home to. What happens that night is terrible, man. And that's the only reason he survived that attack was because he went to sell charcoal in the village nearby, and that's when the man's hey, don't travel alone at night, demons are out there. And Tanjiro was I don't know, but he was feeling tired because it gets a long walk to get there. But when he does find his family, when he stumbles upon them, he finds that Nezuko's body still has heat. So there's a chance that she might be alive and can be saved by a doctor. So he tries to carry her all the way back to the village. But along the way, she transforms into a demon and tries to attack her brother. And I have to say, I've seen this in cosplay and other things. People have this weird dynamic when they see Nezuko. I understand it's a brother-sister relationship, but some of the fan art and stuff, it's very weird stuff I've seen, especially with cosplayers. But again, I like the brother-sister dynamic. That's different. Yeah. So after she turns into a demon, I like that one of her abilities seems to be that she can change her size at will. She can change her body, and I remember that from the anime too. But I just thought that was cool. But it's the bond that she shares with her brother. It touches her humanity and kind of brings her back. She's not human again, but she's aware of what she's doing. And that's when his Demon Slayer appears, and he's trying to kill Nezuko, but he's surprised because because he's a Demon Slayer, he wants to kill Nezuko because she's a demon. But he's surprised that Tanjiro is trying to defend her. And so I thought some humans become demons by... Well, he explains to us some humans become demons by demonic blood entering their veins an open wound. Kind of reminds me of vampires. When vampires bite you, or you get I know it's changed up venom if they inject venom into you, or normally if they bite you and you survive, you become a vampire. So I thought it was cool. It's kind of demons for that. And despite the Demon Slayer adamant about killing Nezuko and telling him she can't turn back to normal. She's gonna be a demon no matter what. Tanjiro continues to like beg for her life, and he's like crying to the demon slayer, and he's like, you can tell that the demon slayer is like annoyed with him. And he tells him that demons will not give into your tears, like you're crying for nothing. They'll laugh at you, they'll taunt you, and then they'll kill you. And you even threw your, and like he had, and he's like taunting him, he's like, you even threw your single weapon away to defend yourself, and I could just easily killed you both. And he then goes to like skewer Nezuko, and that's when like Tanjiro takes like this rock, and the demon slayer thinks like, that's like Tanjiro's like true weapon or distraction. And he like takes him out with the back of his blade. But then he's like, wait, Tanjiro's hatchet is missing, because I forgot to mention Tanjiro had like this like little hacking weapon, like, you know, like little throwing, what do they call those little throwing axes, like hatchets. He had that, and he tossed it into the air, and he was hoping that like while distracting him with like charging, like throwing the rock and then making it seem like, oh, the real thing was like I was gonna like attack you with my real body. It was actually a second distraction, a layer on distraction for like the hatchet to come down and like kill him. And so even though Tanjiro might die, he's like, oh, well, I'll take you out with me and I'll save Nezuko. So I thought that was really clever, and it shows like how like not really. I mean, it's smart, but it shows like how like tactical Tanjiro can be. And it does take the Demon Slayer by surprise, and that gives Nezuko like a second to like attack him, and then she goes after Tanjiro, and he thinks he's gonna like eat him like now that he's like unconscious, but she protects him, like guards him with her body, and it's enough to convince him that she still may have her humanity. Like it's surprising, it's different, but she may still be inside there. And then we get to see the spirits of his family hovering over Tanjiro, telling him to wake up, which I know is like a reoccurring theme because I saw it in the Demon Slayer movie. Like whenever her mom wakes up, or their mom wakes up Nezuko. So I think it's really cute. But then we learn the Demon Slayer's name is Giyu Tomiko or Tomika, something like that. I'm gonna probably butcher these names. But he tells Tanjiro to go find this old man at the top of this mountain, and he's gonna take care, and he's gonna like train you. He's gonna teach you how to become a demon slayer, and keep your sister out of direct sunlight, because if she does, then she'll burn away. Well, he doesn't tell him she'll burn. He's just like, keep her out of direct sunlight, and then he disappears off. And the chapter ends with Tanjiro and Nezuko burying their family before going on their departure. And I thought that was really cute that they buried their family. I mean, I figured like, you know, they would, but it'd be like an off-screen thing. But I like that they did it on panel, like bury the family. I thought that was really cute. And so we then open up the next chapter with Tanjiro and this hilarious gag of him trying to buy some bamboo and a basket from like these two peddlers, and they offer for free, but he's like so adamant on paying, and like he like forces the money into her hand, like even hurting her hand. It's very hilarious. I like that little gag, and it's so he can carry his sister around in like the daytime without her like burning up in the sun like other demons do. And it's here, like, you actually learn, like, her changing size ability. So, demons have, like, what's called a blood art. And, like, the blood art's basically like a devil fruit or, like, a special ability like an X-Men. Or they can do, like, one special thing. And Nezuko's thing is, well, one of Nezuko's things is that she can change the size of her body. And so then day turns to night, and we come upon this house, and Tanjiro smells blood, and he believes that somebody inside might be in danger, so he rushes in without thinking. And inside there's like this demon like feasting on this family's remains, and it's like an instant flashback to Tanjiro, like what happened to his family. But the demon immediately attacks Tanjiro, and he tries to fight it with the hatchet, but like it doesn't really do anything. And then he pins Tanjiro down, but he's immediately kicked off by Nezuko. And this is the first time we get to see Nezuko like fight in like a cool way. And the demon, it's not taken down, even though like its head gets kicked off, but it like grows arms where like where like the parts of his body removed. And like I think like one thing, like its arms like fight Nezuko, and then the other it's like fighting Tanjiro, and it's confused like why like a human and a demon would travel together. Like it doesn't know if they're brothers and sisters, but even if they were, like she's now a demon. He doesn't know why like she's protecting him and not like killing him and eating him. But while Tanjiro pins the head of the demon to a tree with this hatchet, his sister's fighting the demon's body, and she pushes it off a cliff, and that's when Tanjiro goes to finish it off with a knife. But the old man shows up and tells him, like, hey, the knife won't suffice. And it's the old man that we're supposed to be meeting. And so then we learn that the method of communication in this world are crows, and one was sent to the old man by the demon slayer, who told Tanjiro to go find him before Tanjiro even got there. And I think it's cool, like, that crows are, like, the way they talk, because in different, like, One Piece, we have transponder snails, like, the snails that go butter, 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 and, like, they'll talk, and they have, like, different, like, designs and stuff like that. So I like that crows are the way we transfer information here. And then in Naruto, I think it was, like, ninja scrolls. So, like, it's cool, like, every anime has, like, its own way to transfer information to each character. But the old man tests Tanjiro's resolve to kill the demon, and, Tanjiro, I'm learning this about him, like, his kindness and sympathy won't let him do that. Like, even though they're demons, he, like, cares. Like, I guess, like, a part of him is like, I just can't do it. And so the demon ends up burning in the sunlight, and that's when we get to see for the first time, like, this is what happens to demons. When the sun hits them, they burn up and they turn away. And the old man tells Tanjiro, like, compassion isn't gonna be like a compassion. Demons don't understand compassion. Like, they care about nothing. But he does leave the demon to burn in the sunlight, and that's when we get that. And then the next morning, Tanjiro realizes that, like, Nezuko, why she has to stay out of sunlight, like, why the demon slayer told him that. And the old man buries, like, the demon's victims that were in that house that we just left. And he asks, like, Tanjiro's resolve, like, what are you going to do when your sister becomes a full demon? Like, right now she's a half demon. What are you going to do if she, like, starts killing people and starts eating their blood? And because Tanjiro, like, hesitates for the answer, he scolds him, and he's like, you have two options should your sister, like, kill someone. You either take her life and then take your own life, and, like, so that basically, like, you don't have to feel guilty that you killed her, or you can just make sure she never takes innocent life, which will be harder, but those are your two options. You either stop her from killing somebody, or, you kill her yourself, and then you kill yourself after that because, you feel bad that your sister is family. And Tanjiro agrees, and he accepts the old man's offer. Tanjiro agrees. So the old man's like, all right, I'm going to train you to become a demon slayer. And we see, like, a hint of Nezuko's personality. She's willing to give up, like, we get to see, like, a hint of Nezuko's personality, willing to give up her own wants and needs for her sibling. Or I think I meant Tanjiro. But it's his first test of, like, this is who Tanjiro is. And then the first test of his training is, like, to climb the top of this mountain and then find his way back down before sunrise. And, like, it's, like, in the midst of, like, this fog and stuff like that. So he's, like, attacked by, like, I think he's hit, like various, like, throwing knives or traps and stuff like that. It almost kills him, too. But, like, with his unique sense of smell, I guess he, like, locks onto the old man's scent, and he's like, okay, I know how to get down from here. And, yeah, he's bombarded by rocks, pitfalls, like, this battering ram tries to hit him, and it almost takes him out. But it's of course, to slow him down so he doesn't make it before sunrise, but, main character-wise, he's going to make it. But it also helps his senses, like, the fact that, like, you're in constant danger, you're like, okay, I'm gonna stay on my toes, and I'm not going to let up. And the air around is like heavy up there on top of the mountain, because, like, if you ever, like, been to Denver and, like, climbed to the top of, like the high altitude here, like, it does make it harder to breathe. Like, the higher you climb in Denver, especially in the mountains or hiking, it does get difficult to breathe. So you, like, take breaks and stuff like that. So I guess that was, like, a part of his training, like, controlling your breathing. Because I remember that's another thing. Like, they use, like, what's it like, water breathing or something breathing. Total concentration breathing, something like that. It reminded me of, like, Haman from, like, JoJo, like, the first season of JoJo, where, like, you had to, like, hold your breath and breathe in, and then you could, like, fight and use powers. But if you, like, ran out of breath, you couldn't use your powers. That's what it kind of reminds me of. And yeah, but he takes some heavy damage from the traps, despite, like, being aware that they're there. But he still managed to make it down to the bottom of the mountain before dawn. And so the old man accepts him as a student. And after this chapter, we established that the demon slayers are, like, the heroes of this world, and demon slayers are the heroes of this world, and they have, like, special zords called Ninchin or something like that. and basically they're like specifically made for cutting down demons. And what else? He joined for Tanjiro to join the Demon Slayer Corps. He has to like pass like final selection, and like on a different mountain. And so he spends a year training with the old man until he's given. And there's it's like a time skip. He's like given training, and he's given like this final lesson to cut down this boulder. And this boulder is like huge. And for 6 months, Tanjiro can't cut down this boulder no matter what he tries. And so the old man's like, or this swordsman shows up called Sabito. And he's like, it's like when Tanjiro's like on the brink of despair, like he doesn't know what else to do. Sabito challenges him and taunts him. He's like, before you give up, I'm gonna train you. Otherwise, you'll never become a demon slayer. And so the swordsman goes to train Tanjiro, telling him that, you know, using the techniques the old man taught you, don't just like use the techniques the old man taught you, like memorize it. Instead of just like thinking about it, or just do it. Like basically like the what's that meme with what's his name? Shia LaBeouf, just do it. He's like, just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. And despite Tanjiro trying to harden his resolve, the swordsman still manages to take him down with a single swing. And this young girl comes to take his place. And it's like, not his sister. Well, kind of, because like they're the adopted children. We'll learn later that they're like the adopted children of the old man, who I think his name Yuridaki, Yuridokai, something like that. Anyways, they're children that were trained to become demon slayers, but they died against a demon that we'll find out later. But the young girl's name is her name is Makamo, I think. And she's like one of the many orphans that the old man adopted. So they are kind of siblings in that way, like adopted siblings. They are kind of siblings. But she like assures Tanjiro like the more, like she gives him like a more hands-on training and explains to him about like total concentration breathing. And that's where I remembered it. Like, yeah, total concentration breathing. Like the more you focus on your breathing, the stronger your attacks become. And the more you focus. And they go into like an explanation of it. And I thought it was interesting. And then he's training for like another 6 additional months. So like now like a year has passed. Or no, was it a year or 2 years? Yeah, it's been a year because he's been training with Yuridaki for a year. And then he trained 6 months with Sabito, one of the ghost children. And then he trained with Makamo for 6 more months, the other daughter child. And so like 2 years have basically passed. And that's when Sabito returns to face Tanjiro with a real Zord. But this time, Tanjiro swings his blade faster and cuts down Sabito first. Like, he was wearing a mask. I forgot to mention when he was introduced. And he cuts him down. And he's revealed to be like a handsome man, you know, a good-looking kid. But even more so, we realize that like he was fighting a ghost. This is the first time it's revealed he's fighting a ghost. Because as he cuts down Sabito's mask, it's revealed like he actually cut down the boulder. Like, there was no Sabito or Makamo there the whole time. And I thought that was like a cool transition. Like, you know, it's like you at first would think he like created these characters in his mind, but then you learn later like these were actual real students of the old man Yuridaki. And I thought about stopping it here, but because it would have been like a great opening for the video, but I kept going. I figured like, I'll do 10, but that was definitely a great start. So with 2 years of training under his belt, he's learned to see like it's like an invisible thread, or that's what they call it. Like basically like it exposes your opponent's weakness. So the way to kill demons is like cutting off their head. And whenever he focuses and channels his breathing, he can see like this physical thread in his mind of what the demon's weakness is and basically cut their head off. And the old man, Yuridaki, he compliments Tanjiro saying like what he did. That like he basically compliments him. He's like, all right, now you can go to final selection, but I don't want you to die. And that's when we learn that the two children were other demon slayer trainees that were slain down by a demon. And Tanjiro goes to leave, and he basically is like, hey, thanks you to those two students of yours. And the old man's like, how would you know who they were and stuff like that. And then, like, again, there's skips. There's, like, no, like, travel. It's just, like, skips to the next thing. But we get to final selection, and we get a brief glimpse of, like, all these potential demon slayers. And I think there's, like, 20 of them, it said. And there's a brief explanation about what their goal is. You enter before you enter like the you enter like this forest, and there are demons that have been trapped here by slayers. You're supposed to survive for 7 days, and then you pass. Like, that's it. You just go into this forest and survive 7 days, and you pass. There's like no certain demon to bring back. There's no nothing. It's just simply survive. It kind of reminded me of the Chunin exams when they did the Forest of Death. Like, well, actually back then you had to get like 2 scrolls, one an earth scroll, I think like one a wind scroll or something, or water scroll, something like that. And you could get killed in the Chunin exams, which was crazy. Like, well, I don't know, because I did the same thing, except they all slaughtered each other. Whereas in Naruto, I don't think you had to kill people in Naruto. Chunin exams, you could. There was no rules against it, but it was just about getting the scrolls. But anyways, so upon entering, oh yeah, we also see Zenitsu among that group, which she's one of my favorite characters. It changed to Tengen, but Zenitsu had became my favorite. When I had just before that, I think that was before the movie. Yeah. Zenitsu had became my favorite during the thunderclap and flash single technique thing. I loved his whole background and motivation. But anyways, immediately upon entering the forest, Tanjiro is challenged by 2 demons, and we can tell something is like wrong off the bat. He's not like afraid. Oh no, we can tell something's different about him, because like he's like not afraid. He's really confident. He's calm, and and we can see how like much stronger he is, because he takes them out like one swing. Both of these demons, he decapitates them at once, ending it with a prayer for the demons, showing again how compassionate he is for demons, despite them being like, mindless killers and murderers. However, the more imminent threat is like this giant hands demon that like has all these hands wrapping around his body. It looks really disgusting. Kind of cool effect though, but very disgusting. And he was chasing like the other fellow demon slayers, and Tanjiro can tell like this demon's much different. Like, it's like eating a lot of like humans, because his nose is like super sensitive, and so he can tell like how like evil a demon is, or how strong it is, or dangerous, things like that. And he manages to save like a few slayers from this demon. And it's then we learn from the demon, and like he quotes something about like little foxes, and that's when we realize like, yeah, he's the one that killed Uridaki's adopted children. And so the demon claims have been there for like 50 years. He was defeated by Uridaki 50 years ago, and then trapped there. And for him to be at such a high level, that's when Tanjiro realized like, hey, this demon must ate like a lot of people. And he's basically like, my whole thing is I'm gonna kill every single one of Udaki's students that come here, because he trapped me here, so this is my revenge. And Tanjiro is enraged by that, so he loses control, and he like just kind of attacks like blindly, and that gives the demon an advantage, because like he catches him off guard, and he knocks Tanjiro back. And that's when like one of the spirits of the siblings call out to him, or one of the spirits of his siblings call out to him, and that's where that reoccurring thing come back. And so the demon's body acts like a hydra. Like, the more arms you cut off, the more they're like replaced. There is like an extent to how many times you can do this. But Tanjiro leaps into the air and manages to escape. And here's like this headbutt thing, which I forgot to mention about the demon. Him and Nezuko are fighting. Like, there's something about like Tanjiro having a hard head. I don't know if that's going to be like canon or like something like important later, or if it's just like a trait about him, like he just has a hard head. It might be explained later. I'm not really sure. If you know, let me know in the comments, but I don't know anything about it. But that short advantage gives him, like, because he jumped in the air, the demon like used most of his arms to like try to attack Tanjiro from underground. So it gives Tanjiro like a second to like see the thread, like the demon's weakness, and he manages to cut the demon's head off. But before he does, the demon comments to himself like, my head is like really hard, like I have a really hard neck. And so you're kind of doubting like maybe he won't cut it through, but then you get like a flash to like the spirits of Sabito and Makimo at the mountain where he cut the boulder. And Makimo's like, do you think that Tanjiro can win? Do you think he can beat this demon? And Sabito's like, yeah, because this boulder is like the strongest boulder or something. It's like basically harder than that demon's neck, and for him to cut it, That's a big deal. So Tanjiro does succeed, and we get like a cool callback to like the old man Uridaki when he first defeated the demon 50 years ago. And once the demon's head's cut off, he like starts to skin the granny, and that's when like you get like this short, quick little tragic backstory to the demon. And this is like a theme I've also noticed reoccurring that I remember from like, well, one from playing this game, but then two throughout the movies. Like every time a demon dies, you get like this like sad backstory about when they were human, because all the demons used to be human at one point. But I thought it was really cool to see something like that. And it was pretty short. Like the hands demons, basically the whole thing was like he was scared as a little kid as a human, and his brother used to like hold his hand. He's like, here, give me your hand, I'll protect you. So that's like why his whole thing is like his more hands growing, I guess, because that was his thing when he was human. He was like afraid, so he used to grab his brother's hand. But we have 5 confirmed demon slayers, that trainees that passed. One is Zenitsu, which is hilarious because he's saying over and over again, like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Kind of reminds me of Usopp from One Piece. Like, he might be the Usopp of that group, and he just might be because of his thunderclap and flash technique. I know Shinobu, who she is, because a lot of cosplayers, and yeah, in the cosplay community, Shinobu is huge, and you can tell she's definitely related to Shinobu. Another random demon slayer I don't recognize, Tanjiro, obviously, and then a 5th one that went unseen. Like, I think he left for everybody else. But basically everybody there is approved to become a demon slayer. And once you become a demon slayer, you're given like this uniform that's like fireproof, waterproof, as well as like resistant to like weaker demons' attacks, claws, and teeth and bites. You get a crow assigned to you, which like again tells you information like a transponder snail in One Piece or ninja scrolls. And then you get a katana, and you're given a rank. There are 10 ranks. I'm not even gonna go through the ranks because I will not remember what the fuck any of these mean. But yeah, there's 10 different ranks, and they're at the bottom of the list. And oh goodness. And then so after Tanjiro, so after we learn all that, one of the demon slayers tries to attack the 2 proctors, the 2 little girls, which probably not little girls, they're like demons, but like they're 2 little proctors. And one of the demon slayers try to like demand like a katana right then and there, and Tanjiro like grabs him by the wrist, and he's like, hey, let them go or I'll break your arm or something like that. And the demon slayer's like challenges him like, oh yeah, I want to see you do it. And then Tanjiro actually breaks his wrist, which is pretty interesting. But what's even more hilarious is that the proctors aren't even bothered at all. They're like, hey, are you done talking now? And so he gets the stuff, and we learn like the core for your Zord is like a different color ore. You get to choose it. Kind of reminds me of Star Wars, like how you get to choose like a green, purple, blue, red, yellow. I think that's all the colors, but you get to choose your ore. But yeah, with the exams now over, Tanjiro returns to Uridaki's home. I forgot to mention that Nezuko fell asleep after her fight with the demon, the headless demon, because she chooses not to kill humans and drink or eat human blood or consume human flesh. The way she heals herself is like, sleeping, and so that's how she gets her full strength back. And so when what's his name? Tanjiro, I almost called him Deku. When Tanjiro arrives back, there's like this heartwarming reunion between him and Nezuko. And they share this like hug, and I thought it was really cute. And then Uridaki shows up, and he joins them and gives them a hug because he's glad like another one of his students didn't die. And I thought that was really cute. So then 2 weeks pass, because like I said, there's a bunch of time skips, and a blacksmith shows up, and he gives Tanjiro his first katana. And we learned that these katanas are special. These ichi zords or nichi, whatever these zords are, they're made from like scarlet sand and scarlet iron, which are from like the top of a mountain, which it's like the closest to the sun, and it's never cloudy there. So it's kind of like sea prism stones, like how devil fruit users are weak to the power of the sea. Demons are weak to like zords, special zords that are connected to the sun. And then when we finally get to see the blacksmith's face, he's wearing like this hilarious mask. I think it was just like for a little gag, but I thought it was funny. And we learned that Tanjiro's family are somehow connected to fire. So they're expecting like his Zord to like reflect that and turn red, but to their dismay, it turns black, or jet black, they said. So I thought I was curious. I didn't know what that meant. Like they expected his Zord to be red, but it turned to be black. So I'm wondering if something's going to come from that. And then following this, we learned like one of the birds or one of the crows assigned to Tanjiro, they speak. They don't just like deliver letters or something. Like they actually can talk, and the demon slayers can understand them. So I thought that was really cool. And then yeah, we just go on to the next adventure to find. Well, he tells Tanjiro like, "Hey, you're gonna go find out about all these women disappearing at night. Well, young women specifically, they're randomly disappearing at night." And I will say I'm familiar with this arc, one from playing the game recently, because like that's like I think the first main level you play, and then in the first panel of that new chapter, we learned that Black Zords are rumored to be bad luck. Like everybody that has a Black Zord has been known to be like either the Zord won't cut or like the Zord just won't do what you say, something like that. It's like supposed to be like bad luck. And so I'm thinking like, okay, there's definitely something to this Black Zord thing. It's definitely gonna come up later. And as Tanjiro is walking through the village, he overhears like these villagers talking about like the latest disappearing of like a young man's girlfriend, and the villagers, or at least the mother or maybe the father, like blame this man for the young girl disappearing. And so Tanjiro seeks him out. He asks him for answers, and he's like, "Hey, where did she disappear to?" And the man shows him, and Tanjiro uses his like strong sense of smell to smell out where she was, and he instantly picks up a demon. And it's just in time too, because in the process of doing this, there's actually a demon capturing another young woman in her sleep and dragging her onto the floor. And we see that Tanjiro's training has definitely paid off, and that like he's more than like a normal human, because he jumps on top of this building and he like runs at top speed, and it like blows the man away. He's like, "Oh wow, these demon slayers it's like real. This is like a legit thing." And he locates a spot of like this random sin on the ground, and he stabs it with his katana, his special Zord, and it reveals like the captured woman as well as the demon in the ground. And so this demon's blood art is like kind of like that. He can like swim in whatever surface he wants, like whether it's the ground, the floor, a ceiling, or a wall or whatever. He can like turn it into water and like swim through it like an ocean. And so as they begin to engage in battle, it's revealed like there's not just one of them, but there's three. And so that's where I left off at. I felt like that was a cool little conclusion. But yeah, based off from what I've already seen on Netflix, as well as like I said, the Mugen Train movie, I do think I'll be interested in this, and I'll gonna see how the way this one, like how this works out, like using gameplay versus like how I'll do my Dr. Stone with like me talking and then showing the panels. So I hope you guys like this kind of video. Hopefully you guys will like my takes on Demon Slayer. So far, as I said, I like it. I think the gimmick of him being sad every time a demon dies is it's unique for him, as well as, even though it's going to be a recurring theme, like all these demons, their backstories have been interesting, at least up until season 3, where I'm at. I don't know what the main villain's thing going to be. And I even think oh no, that might have been later, that he ran into that Michael Jackson looking demon. But yeah, I do like it. I enjoyed it a lot. This has been it's pretty quick manga too, and I know it's not that long, so I'll probably finish this about the same time I finish Dr. Stone. But for now, we'll end the video here. I'll do the sponsor part of the video. And hey guys, this video was sponsored by the author of the Shinra series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So the Shinra series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces a choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinra's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinra series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament, and the series original ending, Arado the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, full moons, fabled lovers, accursed virgins bite. If you go where monsters dance, red will reign over your house. Love be damned. Now, The Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school because, of course, he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love BK's right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinri series, except for Shinri's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.